Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons. Y'all, we're getting Ironheart updates. It's been 4 years. 4 years! They had already started shooting in Chicago in like late May of 2022. So what have they been up to? What could they have been holding out on us on? With like, what reshoots are they doing? What are they doing overall? Let's talk on Ironheart, the plot, the characters, and what we should expect. We want to remind you first to check out nerdriot.shop, where you can always find the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. You can still grab some merch inspired by Agatha all along. Venom. Why would you want to grab Venom merch? I don't know, but you could still if you really, really want to. You can also just get our kind of New Rockstar shirt that has like the, what was that game you play when you're a child? I Spy? Can you find me? I couldn't. Someone had to tweet it at me and I own the t-shirt. All right, let's get into it. So Marvel Studios is finally releasing its miniseries Ironheart to Disney Plus on June 24th, 2025. This series follows after her latest appearance starring Dominic Thorne, who we last saw in Wakanda Forever. You remember it? You remember her? According to Disney's 2025 preview kit, the series pits technology against magic when Riri Williams, a young genius inventor determined to make her own mark on the world, returns to her hometown of Chicago. Her unique take on building iron suits is brilliant, but in pursuit of her ambition, she finds herself wrapped up with the mysterious yet charming Parker Robbins, aka the Hood. This is a fine synopsis, but in my opinion, it gives us nothing. They've covered everything we already knew about this series because it's been treated for over 4 years. And a quick summary of the Ironheart timeline, quick as I can make it. In December 2020, Kevin Feige announced an Ironheart Disney Plus series starring Dominic Thorne. Now, this was back before Black Panther was even released. Shoot, this is after Chadwick Boseman even passed away. Coogler was already writing the movie at this point, but we didn't know it would feature Riri Williams until August 2021 when Feige confirmed it in a press interview around Shang-Chi. In spring 2021, they confirmed it would be 6 episodes and Shanaka Hodge would be the head writer. Though the name might sound green to you, Hodge has actually teamed up with past Marvel directors before, Black Panther's Ryan Coogler and Shang-Chi's destined Daniel Cretton to develop her show Minors. It is a show that tackles and explores juvenile facilities, the kids that grow up in these systems, and how facilities shape those kids. She's also written on TNT's Snowpiercer and is a talented author, poet, and playwright. So I think beyond making another Marvel project, we should expect Ironheart to be more dramatic and emotional and very personal to the character and what defines her story. July of 2022 is when Feige announced Phase 5's plan. Remember how excited we were back then? That's when Blade was on that list. Ironheart was set to release fall of 2023, if you can see on the calendar. Could you imagine? That series would have came out by now. Black Panther was then released in November 22. I, along with others, am happy with Thorne's appearance, her character, and the whole bag of chips, and I wanted to see more. We start clamoring for any bit of news we can get because no one knows what her show will be about other than it's a tech genius from Chicago and it should be released in 2023. By 2022, Anthony Ramos joined as the Hood, then later joined Lyric Ross as Riri's best friend. Alden Ehrenreich from Solo was cast in an undisclosed role. The cast also includes like Cree Summers and RuPaul's Drag Race's Shea Coulee and a lot of other folks. I'm just hitting the ones I'll be referencing a lot later. This was also the year Deadline reported Sacha Baron Cohen had joined the MCU in a role that potentially would debut first in Ironheart and then later in other MCU projects. And this role was none other than Mephisto. So by now, we are both confused and intrigued by the number of supernatural elements and players in a show I assumed was more aligned with like women in STEM. But I'm not mad at the supernatural part, it's just, where does it come in? Filming for Ironheart then began in late 2022 with principal photography starting in June 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. They allegedly wrapped filming in November of 2022. This is when we start seeing those set photos of Anthony Ramos as the Hood and the look at Riri's suit. Again, we're all really excited, yet a little bit confused. It's also been 2 years since comic fans heard of Riri Williams' Disney Plus series, and those photos came out before Black Panther Wakanda Forever, so we don't really know what to assume. We're all just a little lost. Then the footage for the movie was shown at the D23 Expo in September of 2022, which, okay, yeah, gives us a sign if you were there, which I wasn't, but those who went liked what they saw. Rumors started spreading that Ironheart would be delayed, and Marvel Disney Plus shows like Echo were shuffled from November to January 2024. The report also claimed Ironheart had been pushed to 2024 with no official release date. Jump all the way to August 2024, 2 years after filming wrapped, and the first footage from Ironheart is released to the public in their 85th anniversary video, and that's kind of insane. Then in October, they released the upcoming shows for 2025, including the hopefully last release date for Ironheart, June 24th, 2025. So it's been 4 years on people's minds, 2 years since it's wrapped. This show has been throwing us all through a loop with what? Why with all the delays? Now, a lot of the delay may have been and probably was due to the 2023 and 2024 Hollywood delays, aka the SAG and WGA strikes, which likely slowed down their entire production. The Hollywood Reporter also noted this could be due to the company's overall general pullback. Sources said that Marvel Marvel wants to focus its efforts to make each title an event for fans and audiences. Spreading out its content is a more prudent strategy. No critiques there. Yeah, absolutely. This could also give them a reason to improve the content. From what I've seen, the VFX looks great and have improved since Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We also know that Marvel and Disney's problem with their whole VFX, yeah, it can be sloppy or weak at times, but the team is also overworked and underpaid. And according to reports for Wakanda Forever, the process was also rushed, which is no surprise considering Chadwick Boseman's sudden passing. So they could have also been cleaning up in post during those delays. Half of my job is talking. For every minute of a video we upload, I spend probably 20 minutes talking in meetings and unusable takes, and if I'm being honest, just a lot of bits around the office here and there. It's mostly bits.
It was the Muppets. It was the Muppets.
My vocal cords put in a heroic effort, but they don't do it alone. They've got a sidekick, and that's one-shot voice drops. One-shot voice drops do everything a good sidekick ought to do. They got quips for every occasion. They're experts in martial arts. One-shot voice drops even have a utility belt full of gadgets. Okay, so maybe the voice drops aren't like other sidekicks, but I don't need them to be. They taste like honey and yuzu and offer instant relief the second my throat gets scratchy so that I can keep doing my job all day.
I can do this all day.
All of One-Shot Energy products are plant-based and naturally sweetened without a bunch of fillers and chemicals. They've got voice drops, energy chews, focus chews, everything a growing young YouTube host needs to thrive. Get started with One-Shot Energy today by going to oneshotenergy.com/newrockstars for 10% off your order. There's also been rumors that the delays could have been caused by aligning or wanting to just sync Ironheart with another MCU project releasing later. If this were the case, I think it's just a nicer way of addressing the major elephant in the room. Maybe not the best time to put that pun in there. This is not to say that Kang had or has anything to do with Ironheart's storyline, but Disney and Marvel fired Jonathan Majors in December 2023, well after Ironheart wrapped production. As we remember, Kang's storyline was the endgame, so this could have dominoed many other Marvel projects and plans, thus causing more delays. He also mentioned in an interview with Somos Geeks for Quantumania that he was excited to potentially work with Anthony Ramos.
I'm really looking forward to just Anthony Ramos potentially. You know, there's so many actors, you know, who have been enlisted into this MCU team.
And I think that's a little specific, a little too on the nose for someone not knowing the franchise's future to choose Anthony Ramos out of everyone to do a project with, unless he knew there were plans he had already worked on or some stuff with Anthony Ramos's hood in the future. Scooper Daniel RPK noted in late 2023 that Ironheart was undergoing reshoots in 2024, but also in January 2024, Dominic Thorne told Deadline shooting had concluded. Whether that means the original wrap date or recent reshoots, it's still up in the air, but still, reshoots aren't uncommon for Marvel, especially recently with Daredevil Born Again's complete overhaul, so I wouldn't be surprised if the reshoots were due to a Kang-adjacent storyline or appearance, or just wanting to grab extra shoots. With the possible change in story or bits due to Kang, let's dive back into the plot and all. The synopsis that's been pushed out by Disney is very basic, it's nothing new. In the Disney look ahead though, we see Riri and Robbins, aka the Hood, unveiling her new suit in what looks like a junkyard. We also see Anthony Ramos as the full-fledged Hood. It seems like it's from the point of view of Ironheart's suit. Lots of B-roll of Riri building and trying on a new suit, smashing a truck, and flying past cars. According to the trailer descriptions from what people saw at the exclusive D23 Expo footage in September 2022, it sounds much like what we got from the Disney look ahead with minor additions. According to the wrap, it opens with our first glimpse of Dominic Thorne as Riri Williams. She gets scolded by a professor who tells her she isn't the first genius to come out of MIT. She is clearly not satisfied with the answer, expressing that she wants to create something iconic. Cue Anthony Ramos as Parker Robbins, aka the Hood. He appears to be an ally to the young engineer at first, telling her that anyone who's done something iconic has also had to dabble in something questionable. But from there, it quickly becomes apparent that Parker has anything but good intentions. As he flicks his hood into place, the footage ends with a flicker between Riri and her Ironheart suit, which is finally ready for battle. Then Brad Winderbaum spoke to Faye's hero on Ironheart and spoke on the personal struggles we'll see in the character, saying,
"It's a bit of a quarter-life crisis for her. You know, like many of us, though, you know, the world's not what, you know, she fought in Wakanda. She went, you know, she fought Namor. She was like, she had this great adventure, you know, but yet like the struggle is, the day-to-day struggle is still real. And I think that, you know, as people in the creative arts, I'm sure, you know, everyone on this call can relate to that. And, you know, she's Riri Williams. She's going to do what she needs to do to get by for her and her family and everyone else. And it does lead her down some roads.
Those two things and some other footage from the Disney Upfronts presentation to this year's D23 footage, there's also a consensus that Riri is expelled from MIT. They've also suggested that Riri has been searching to make something as good as her suit in Wakanda Forever. This is the drive she has, and she's using pieces from MIT that leads to her expulsion. Even Deadline has reported no more cash flow. She found a new way to make money in questionable ways by working with the Hood. From that, we can piece together a better synopsis and plotline, or more so, what I think is a better synopsis. After returning home from the events of Wakanda Forever, Riri Williams is pushing herself to make something unmakeable and the best. In doing so, she's expelled from MIT, but meets the Hood, who, like Pinocchio and the Fox, treats her to a different outlook and lifestyle with harmful consequences. And those consequences lead me to the casting. So we have Alden Ehrenreich, who played Solo, who I mentioned earlier, is playing an undisclosed role. But Scooper, Can We Get Some Toast, mentioned he would be playing Obadiah Stane's son, Zeke, a tech ethicist who Riri will go to for his secret stash of black market tech to hopefully upgrade her armor. I will repeat, this is a scoop, but Can We Get Some Toast has never strayed me wrong. I'm sorry, they get a lot of things right. I think they work for Marvel. This scoop has come up again recently with all the Ironheart hype. Clearly, it's a descendant of a great Marvel villain. I would love to see him in this role if it plays a bigger role in the MCU. Ezekiel Stane has also come from the comics, still the son of Obadiah Stane. He used dark tech and created cybernetic augments for himself on his own body. So he's both man and machine, and he hates Tony Stark and targets him and others aligned with him out of revenge. So please bring him into the MCU. This is great for Ironheart. Another casting question, can we still expect Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto? That's still unconfirmed. There's a rumor he's still showing up, and some are reckoning the exact episodes. Nothing from Marvel directly though, and personally, and you've probably heard me and Erik talk about this on the sneak peek or just all the time, I don't need Mephisto to debut in Ironheart, though if they want to, they can. The Hood is already mystical, and grabbing another mystic supernatural thing I guess wouldn't hurt. I just want to know how that plays for a grounded, dramatic, STEM Chicago living storyline. It just doesn't feel like it fits. Last bit of updates from Brad Winderbaum's interview with Phase Hero. He does also confirm the full practical suit for Riri. Clearly it doesn't like fly around, but they use a lot of the same techniques and mechanics from the first Iron Man movie. And according to the WGA, Francesca Gales, who previously wrote on She-Hulk, had also written on Ironheart, so maybe we'll bring some light humor to the show. It's essential to recognize just the creatives because it's their past work and style that get them into the next room and gets us theorizing what from She-Hulk can she bring into this. Is it She-Hulk? Oh god, I hope it is. I hope She-Hulk is defending Riri. That would be actually very fun. With all of that being said, and with everything I've covered, I'm still very excited for Ironheart. I also was very excited for Blade, but that's a different story. We waited this long, and all the delays seem to have a reason, or at least are positive changes, and there's just so many new players jumping in as we approach Doomsday. Erik and I speak actually about the teams we can expect to see these people playing on last week's episode of the sneak peek. For sure, go check it out. But we talk about whether it's going to be like the West Coast Avengers, Young Avengers, Thunderbolts, or what have you for Ironheart. Personally, since Riri's coming out of MIT, I would love to just bridge that Spider-Man gap. Have her work with Ned and MJ. Let them find Peter Parker again. Let me know in the comments what you're looking for in Ironheart, or what you want from the series, what you want them to answer, and if you really do want Mephisto to show up in this. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons, subscribe to all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.